And so I send people to that website, and please go to the website and listen to their stories because they're all true. Talk to the people in this room right now. The stories are all true. My story is true. And now I'm standing here in this room from that little Facebook a few months ago. And there are hundreds of people between, in that little bit of time, hundreds of people now eating mila between Singapore and KL, and soon we're going to Jakarta. Hey, Jakarta. And we're going to take over Asia. Why? Just like Surya said, if you have a world-class product and something no one's ever heard of before, and you're the first person that has it, and everybody needs it, every man, every woman, every child, and once you start to eat it, you will always eat it every day for the rest of your life. And I'm quite sure, well, let's do a show of hands. Those of you eating mila, if you think you will continue to eat mila every day for the rest of your life, let me see your hands. Isn't that pretty overwhelming? Since nobody in Asia ever heard of this stuff 4 months ago? Don't you think that's amazing? So when it comes to marketing, what Surya was talking about, what could be more powerful marketing than having something that's so amazing that all you have to do is say, eat this and call me when you run out. That's not selling anything, is it? And if they have a remarkable result, like I've had, like all of these people have had, what do when you run out? It's like you're a drug addict. You know, I feel so good. I don't want my pain to come back. How do I get this? Bang. And that's all that I've done. And it really makes me feel so wonderful to stand here and know that just by giving away a few bags of mila, well, 120 to be exact, but just from giving away mila and the effect that mila has had on so many people, that I know I have been responsible for all of this. And another whole big group in KL. And a year from now, there'll be thousands and thousands that will live longer, better lives, that are healthier, that feel wonderful, their pain is gone. And I did that. You know how good that makes you feel? Yes. You know how good that makes you feel. And to make a lot of money to do that is like, thank you, Lord. There's nothing better, right? What could possibly be better than just helping people and introducing them to something? Don't sell anything. We don't sell this, we share it. And all you do is wait until they run out. And that's the truth. And ask anyone in this room and they'll tell you that's doing this. That is the truth. It is that remarkable. It's one of a kind. And the people who founded this company were personal friends of mine. That's how come I got it at the very beginning. I got it before it was in a bag. It was in a can. They took me to dinner and they gave me a can of this stuff and said, here, we're going to do it. And they're very rich people and very successful. They have retired before they were 40 years of age. They had millions and millions of dollars. They were in the real estate business in Florida, where I live. And I knew them. So I knew they were honest people and smart people. And I trusted them. That's why I ate it. Because you saw it looks like dirt. Right? And so I ate it because I trusted them. And I know that everyone in this room knows lots of people who need mila. So imagine if somebody you really care about, if you could help them the way all of you have been helped, right? So this gentleman is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, who, you know, they said, how are you getting all of these customers in Asia? And I said, I'm not telling you. If you want to know, you have to come see for yourself. And he got on an airplane, and he flew to Singapore, and he's here tonight, the Chief Executive Officer of this company, Mr. Paul Rogers. Come on, give it up!
I don't think we're ever going to get Dwight out of Singapore.
It's going to be the Singaporean.
Singaporean, absolutely. I think he'll fit right in. What a blessing to be here with everybody. This is an amazing room. Absolutely. I was back there taking pictures and texting Jim and Sherry, founders. And it's real simple. I said, Singapore's about to explode. So. And from Singapore, the rest of Asia. Yes. So it works, right? Yes. And you guys want the rest of Asia? Oh, yes. Okay, you can have it. I'm just going to be speaking with you for a few minutes tonight, and I'll take 2 seconds to tell you a little bit about myself, so you'll know who's having a conversation with you. My path to being here with you and being CEO of LifeMax actually began in the early 90s, and it began in somewhat of a tragic way, but the story ended in a good way. My son was diagnosed when he was 2 years old. This is early 90s. He was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Anybody ever heard of rheumatoid arthritis? Yes. It's very rare. Sometimes hits little girls, very rare in little boys. It hit my son when he was about 2 years old. So he had just learned to walk. Suddenly his knee swells up, and his right ankle swells up, and now he can't walk. His leg wouldn't straighten. So he was our first child. Okay, so we're scared to death, right? And we're sort of freaking out. And after a lot of tests, that's when the doctors came back and said, yes, your son has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. That knee's never going to heal. That ankle's never going to heal. We're going to put him on medication. The medication's going to give him an ulcer. So we're going to have to put him on medication for that. So at 2 years old, they wanted to put my son on 3 different medications. And my wife was crying in the meeting, not because she was upset, but because she wanted to kill the doctor for saying those things. And fortunately for us, we left that meeting with that expert. He is the world-renowned expert in juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. We left that meeting and we went to our family doc. He was a very wise man. He was Dr. Paul was about 80 years old at that point. And he listened to us and he said, don't do that. And you know, sometimes you have a conversation that changes your life. Yes. You don't know it at the time. That conversation that we had with our family doc changed our life because he said, don't do that. He said, don't go the route of medicine. If you need to, you can. He said, but they don't understand rheumatoid arthritis. They don't understand why it affects children. He said, find the answer with food. Your body, your son's body is allergic to something he's eating. Find the answer with food. And we said, okay. And we started on a path at that point. 6 months later, we figured out what it was. 7 months later, my son's rheumatoid arthritis went into complete remission. And now he plays college baseball in the United States at the age of 19. So that conversation literally changed everything in my life. I was already in the network marketing industry as a distributor. That's where I started out, as a distributor. And was a distributor for about 5 years. It changed some things immediately as far as the way we lived. One, we moved out to a farm. Found out goat's milk was the best thing to drink, so we started raising goats. Anybody drink goat's milk today? A couple people. Thank you for your support of the goat industry. You don't usually see that a lot. I love it. We do goat's milk, goat cheese, and well, plus my wife loved horses, so that was an excuse for us to get on a farm so my wife could have horses on a ranch. I understand Singapore has horses in the zoo. Okay, we got to raise horses. Okay, good. All right, good. If I'm ever going to get my wife here, there have to be horses nearby somewhere. It's kind of the rule. So we moved out to a farm, changed the way we did things, because we understood the power of food like never before. I was a distributor at the same time in network marketing. I loved it, had some great success, became a top income earner in a company in the United States. So I was fortunate enough, after a lot of failure at the early beginning, I love that, Saria turned the mess, it became the message. That was beautiful. I'm going to use that, and I'll give you credit every time I use it. For the first 3 or 4 times. That was excellent. I had a lot of mistakes. Then I had a lot of success. And I was making a lot of money. In the company I was a top distributor with, was doing really great right up to the point where that company went bankrupt, which was not so great. My wife was thrilled with that. So suddenly we go from making a whole lot of money to making no money, which was neat. And so at that point I had a decision to make. I could go find another network marketing company or start my own company. So I started my own company, me and a couple of guys. And we built that company in the United States. And then about a year and a half later we merged with a larger company, that time called Lexus International. And so Lexus became a pretty big company. We joined forces very early on. One of the products I brought in, because remember I'm focused on food, we had created an organic noni juice in the Tahitian Ring of Islands with the chief Fred Ciosi. We brought that to market in 1997. Passionate about food. I was trying to find juices, I was trying to find whole food nutrition that I could introduce to the network marketing industry. I've been looking at it since the early 90s. So we merged with Lexus. I became president of Lexus. We eventually moved on, publicly traded on the NASDAQ. We were doing business in 35 countries. We did annualized sales of $600 million. And it was a blessing for me to get to be president of that company and to see the growth from very small to explosive. All the while looking for food to introduce through the network marketing industry. I retired from that company about 2.5 years ago, actually 3 years ago. And I retired for different reasons, but one of the big ones was I was sick of the juice wars, is what I call them. Okay? Everybody's got a juice, you know? And I had introduced 3 of them to the industry. And I was tired of the juice battles. Now, the good juices, they're good companies. I love the network marketing products. I'm a huge fan of the industry, and I use everybody's products. But everybody had the same products. Multivitamin, antioxidant, face cream, a lotion, a hair product, a cleaning product, laundry detergent, juice, energy drink, energy drink. And it's like everybody was telling the same story. So, you know, the question became, well, has your product killed anyone? No. Okay, good. Let's look at the comp plan. That's kind of how the conversation went. And I was tired of that. I wanted to take a break. So I took a break. Friend of a friend said, I know you're retired now, but come look at what these folks have in Florida. And I said, I'm not really that interested. And they're like, no, they're thinking about going network marketing. And I was like, all right, I'll go try it. And I went up and I met Jim and Sherry Ware. And they kind of did what Dwight did. They mixed up Mila in some chocolate milk. Because everything tastes better in chocolate milk. And they mixed it up in chocolate milk and I drank it down. They said, you just had the highest concentration of omega-3s of any plant on earth. And I knew omega-3s because my wife's been forcing me to choke down fish oil for years. I knew it was good for me. And I said, oh my gosh. We can control this from the farm to the time it's put into the bag and sent to the distributors. I knew immediately. My experience in the industry as a distributor on the executive side had led me up to that point right there to understand and recognize that no one in this industry had anything close to what they were talking about. No one had raw whole food nutrition that could change people's lives in such a profound way. And I immediately got involved helping them build it and then came on as CEO before we pre-launched the company. It's amazing how things can come together in your life. Sometimes it takes a couple years. For me, it took almost 20 years for all of these lines to cross. So that's the reason I'm here with you tonight, and I'm thrilled to be. And I'm going to go through this presentation very quickly, and then I want to hear from Sari and Jack a little bit more. You guys are absolutely amazing. And Dwight. Man, Dwight, you have found your groove, brother. I love it. Our mission is to change the health in the world. Change the health and wealth of the world. Here's how we're doing it. Sharing the healthiest whole raw food with the world and empowering our independent distributors. Our goal, our focus from the very beginning was to create generational impact. We've grown this business very slowly.